Welcome to Terminus, ladies and gentlemen, and our purple Terran player at the 3 o'clock position from Team Complexity MVP is qxc. And his opponent at the 6 o'clock position from Team Empire, and he's taken a game back from Complexity MVP. He is Aristeo. And a well-played game that time. Obviously, he caught Minigun trying to be very, 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 very greedy on a map that's hard to defend on fast expands anyway, and he went for the fastest of expands in a Nexus First.
Yep, Nexus First is a bit of a risk. He got punished for it, and now his teammate qxc has to come up, make up for it, and try to get another lead for their team. And qxc, when I talked to this guy last time, lived with him for a little bit in Korea, he was like, my whole philosophy is to try to get in my opponent's head during a game and just mess up whatever they're doing. You know, he feels that if he can create a situation where his opponent is just in a very uncomfortable place, you know, if they're in a situation that they haven't dealt with before, that really gives him a better chance to win. You know, that he's better at handling those sort of on-the-fly situations than a lot of other players out there. And so far, he's done a good job of doing just that. Yeah, and he's doing it again right here. And 11 racks went down. So we're going to see if that's key for another racks here on the left-hand side. It looks like it is, as an SCV is already making its way over. There's 150, and there's a second barracks. Okay, interesting placement with those two barracks. Yeah, certainly. This drone's going to be able to, well, pretty much see both of those, no problem at all. Yeah. All right, so no hidden secrets or anything like that for qxc. Aristeo's going to know exactly what he's going up against. It's not the super fast 11-11 racks or anything like that. It's not proxied, so it's going to put some pressure on, but it's going to be something that Aristeo's going to have plenty of time to get prepared for, at least. Right. Well, we certainly hope so, and qxc does have his first Marine making its way out. There's 15 pool coming down for Aristeo after he decided to 15 hatch. And we'll see what he has in store to defend, as a couple of Marines are starting to make their way out now for qxc. Yep, that's right. They're going to try to do a little bit of bunker pressure at the natural of our Zerg player. Oh, I like that. Okay, I was wondering, why didn't he build it on the low ground? It looks like he's actually just building on the high ground and floating into the low ground. Not something you usually see, but he will still be able to get some Marines there a little bit quicker anyway that way. It makes sense, though, because the SCV walking around all the way there, then starting the barracks, not only makes us more exposed, but it takes longer. This is actually the quicker way to get that barracks right where it's at. Well, a lot of players that would be doing that on the low ground would send the SCV out a little bit earlier, of course, to kind of make up for that. But, you know, the way qxc is doing it, I don't think is necessarily, wrong at all. But I think the bigger thing here is that Aristeo has already got 6 Zerglings on the way. I mean, he's got enough drones down to his natural. Sure. Starting that spine crawler, that's obviously not going to really be able to do anything other than just soak some damage initially. But he's in a pretty good space to handle things. So, if he loses that Overlord, though, that's going to not help at all. And he will. Really bad. Oh, that is bad. He does have enough Zerglings out that he should be able to hold this off still, but, just kind of cutting things a little bit close here. Yeah, qxc going to have to back away at the moment. He still does have quite a bit here, so throwing that hurt SCV into the back. Spine crawler's trying to come up. There are a few Zerglings here, and it looks like qxc is just going to continue putting on the pressure, forcing more lanes out of his opponent right now. Oh, buying some time for the spine crawler to come in, but qxc trying to run to the main. Great positioning on the ramp there. Wow. Using the SCVs to buffer like that. Right. Those Marines killing a lot more than they would have otherwise. Certainly, and he's going to try and make his way in and pick off maybe a couple of drones here. The Queens are still quite a ways away, and he forced another 8 lings out of his opponent. He is tied on workers, and his opponent is they're forced to make so many Zerglings at the moment. Yeah, pretty good micro from qxc as well, kind of getting the most out of every Marine. So he's going to put a little bit more pressure on here, but overall this push is more or less done from him, but it's done its job for sure. I mean, he's produced so many Zerglings out of Aristeo. Yes. Aristeo's economy definitely a lot far behind what he'd like it to be right now. What's the worker count even right now for that? It is 17 to 16. Yeah, 17 to 16. Definitely a lot less drones than Aristeo would prefer to have right now. And Aristeo, oh man, that spine crawler just out of range. It's giving those Marines the evil eye right now. We got a few more rallying across the map, but double gas now for qxc, and a Baneling nest coming up for Aristeo, sitting on just 18 drones. Interesting. All right. Thinking that he possibly needs some Banelings to hold this off. qxc isn't exactly kind of lessening the pressure at all here, too. He's still sending Marines down there just because he's been so successful already with that. Yeah, another 6 minutes coming out now. qxc has worked himself in that little corner. He needs his reinforcements, though. Yep. And they didn't make their way in quite in time, so he's not able to clean up all those Zerglings. Aristeo was able to deal with those pretty well. Yep, probably could have done a lot more damage if he would have had the other ones down there, you know, like you mentioned. But it does happen. It still doesn't hurt QXC any, really. I mean, he hasn't had anything touch his economy yet.
All right, well, more Zerglings are going to make their way out. He's trying to go after the Queen. Unfortunately, didn't do quite enough damage to it. The Lings once again clear him up. I think only one Ling went down, and it looks like Aristeo now pushing out QXC. He was trying to go home with most of what he had, and he's just going to try and lead his opponent away. Aristeo, yeah, of course, did scout his opponent, but, oh, and those Rangers are ended.
All right, now take a look at QXC's base right now. Look in there. We've got 2 factories going for QXC, so this could be a transition into mech. Otherwise, he could be going for something like double reactored Hellion, but either way, he's going to need to defend this a little bit before anything else happens. I think we're going to see a Baneling bust from Aristeo. The nest is done. Yep, there's Banelings on the way. And this is the danger that you face if you kind of hold on that 2 Barracks Marine for a little bit too long, because Aristeo is going to catch QXC at an excellent timing here.
3rd Barracks and
he's going to see
factories
it, though.
coming up. Yes, he does. He needs to prepare. He needs to pull SCVs off of the line right now.
Time.
Banelings are trying to make their way up to the front. One goes down before it hits the supply depot, but now units are starting to flood in.
Yep.
QXC not in a good position right now. A lot of those SCVs were hit, but actually the weak one's in the middle now, so they're going to be softened up but not killed. QXC going to need to defend as best as he can, and it looks like he will be able to do so. Now has a bunker up the front along with another supply depot being built, so Aristeo throwing more at this at the moment. 24 more Lings coming up, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, he is basically all in right now. I mean, he could start to produce drone again if he wants to, and that's what he's going to do, it looks like. But he's, again, sacrificed a lot of larvae to Zerglings instead of drones. So if he tries to catch up now, it's going to be even tougher than it was before. And yeah, QXC going for Blue Flame Hellions as well. If he survives this next Baneling bust attack, I think it's going to be pretty tough for him to lose this game.
Surprise! You know, QXC not doubling up his wall right now, but I guess he doesn't see how many Zerglings are sitting out there. He's got to raise that supply depot, but it's not raised quite yet. Oh, Aristeo didn't send any Lings over it. He was just attacking, and so the supply depot was closed. Yeah.
Yep. Banelings coming in now. They're going to break down the front door yet again.
Yes, they are.
And going to weaken that bunker as well. Not a bad use of those Zerglings. Only 1 Hellion out right now. And QXC is in huge, huge trouble. Yeah, he is. He is in a lot of trouble, but I've got to say Aristeo didn't control that as well as I thought he would have, because these Lings are not going to exactly kill QXC, and I think he had the potential to do so. Yep, looks like the Hellions are going to clean things up. Does have just enough here. QXC has got so much stuff on the way now. We're going to see if he can continue to rally himself back into this game. Aristeo, on the other hand, just sitting on 2 bases, trying to drone up, and he's not supply blocked, but not allocating his larva quite yet. Looks like he's got that Roach Warren on the way, maybe waiting for that. Well, he killed enough SCVs that he's kind of caught up in the worker count a little bit. Killing 10 SCVs, it's now 39 to 32. So, you know, when you're in that situation where you're that far behind, if you can do enough economic damage, you can catch up, obviously. He's got some Roaches on the way, too, so QXC's Hellions may not do as much damage as QXC is hoping that they will. Right, and hopefully he'll just keep those outside for map control purposes, things like that. You have an Evolution Chamber coming up now in addition to those 11 Roaches. So many Roaches hitting the field, a lot of damage output now from Aristeo. Back on QXC's side of things, it looks like he's forming in that supply depot wall, more Hellions hitting the field, Blue Flame finished up, and he's adding tanks. Yep. All right, well, those Roaches are pushing out on the field now, so it is going to force the Hellions away. They're starting to be all colors of the rainbow, and actually Aristeo, he's following this up with some Zerglings as well. He is droning behind this, so it's not going to be, you know, another attempt at an all-in or anything. QXC actually going right around the outside, maybe able to catch some Zerglings. Nope, not watching them at all. Big Roach Link push coming in here. Oh, and some Banelings added on there as well. Oh, what's Aristeo doing? Oops. Yeah. And a little bit too far forward there. All right. Well, the tank does not have siege mode at the moment, but in pop-up mode, it is very high DPS against armored units. And SCV is already preemptively being pulled off of the line. There's only a few Banelings up right now. More are on the way. And it looks like this is going to hit before siege mode finishes up. Yeah, it will come right before that. Supply blocking QXC in a big way, too. Yeah. QXC, again, is going to lose a good amount of units, maybe some SCVs. Yeah, it looks like he's actually going to keep most of his workers intact, but, you know, he did dispatch of his opponent's army very efficiently. Yes, he lost the supply depots. Yes, he lost that bunker up at the front, but I've got to say, Aristeo took very heavy losses in that attack. Yeah, I feel like he's being a little bit too aggressive here. You know, he's not waiting until he has enough army to get in there. and really, you know, do the damage that he wants to do. It's like he's really trying his hardest to end the game right now, but it's just not working. And every time he tries one of these attacks, he lets QXC catch back up economically and kind of squanders whatever advantage that he had.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And, you know, Aristeo being a wee bit cavalier right now with his forces. He is now teching behind this as he's got 1-1 coming up of the melee variety, not ranged, of course, with Roach Speed following this up as well. He's going to try and take his third, but that third command center is already on the way for QXC, and the rocks are down.
Yep. Hellion versus Roach, not really a fight the Hellions want to be in very often.
Not at all. And 2 more Hellions do go down there. But it's pretty good. Marine Tank. Now he's actually throwing an additional Hellion. So Marine Tank Hellion coming up for QXC. 2 additional barracks on the way, along with his first starport of the game.
Oh, wow. It's quite the grouping of automatons right there.
Not really sure what they're all doing there, but
party.
I love that the game placed them all there. It makes me so happy to see. And
whoops.
QXC loses 2 Hellions there, and a couple more are very, very low.
Automatons are like, whoa, did you see that? Everyone's like, yeah, it happens all the time, man. Just get used to it. It's just how it is living on Terminus.
Automaton parties are just the craziest you could imagine. So.
I know. Ain't no party like an automaton party. See, automaton party don't stop. That's what they all say, right?
I believe so.
That's what all the kids say in their
seems highly
crazy
factual.
Parties these days.
Well, we will check in on the automaton party here in a bit, make sure they're not getting out of hand. The Roaches are actually going to die pretty quickly to this. Upgraded Marines, even just a little bit with Combat Shield there, start to get very, very effective against Roaches as time goes along. We have 5 Infestors coming up, though, but this is a big tank push out of QXC.
Yep. And yeah, it looks like Aristeo, he's going to have some Infestors out on the way. Did he already get the upgrade for that, though?
Pathogen glands?
Pathogen glands? Have they been... Have the glands been upgraded? Yes, they have. Okay, so these Infestors are going to help a lot when this push gets here. Wow, QXC putting down some bunkers even.
Yeah.
This push is serious business, man.
Yes, it is.
They're moving in.
He does not mess around, and those very, very injured Hellions taking a couple more pot shots at whatever's sitting on the ground. Automatons observing from afar. Looks like one of them trying to get close to the action, but pretty good tank line now up for QXC. His opponent is in a pretty good flank position, but it's going to be strong when those barracks finish, or when those bunkers finish, I'm sorry. Yeah,
you know, even with the bunkers, that army isn't looking terribly large. Oh, but when you walk your Zerg units into the tank fire, that does help a little bit as well. Yeah, so QXC in an okay situation. Yeah. Reinforcements being cut off, though, by Aristeo, and yeah, that'll help.
Takes some circling losses, though, and actually loses a few units of his own. Looks like QXC is going to have to defend. I think with the bunker back up at home, he's got enough that he can delay this and just reinforce and take it out, but we'll certainly find out when the time comes. Both players sitting on 3 bases at the moment, starting to get pretty high in supply as well.
Yep, that's right. I don't think a counterattack from Aristeo would be a good thing here. He's got those units there, but I would hope he's going to keep them just to take out reinforcements, because even if QXC kind of builds up here, builds more bunkers, there will be a point where Aristeo just has enough stuff to come in and crush this. And it looks like that time is now.
All right, well, he's going
for it
through the front. Yeah, it looks like the back attack is starting to go down pretty quickly, but that's a lot of infested Terrans now, all popping out at the same time. Roach is starting to crush through the front. The tanks have not been injured yet, but now they are all alone. Here comes some reinforcement Marines, though, stimming their way up, and it looks like QXC is going to have enough barely to drive that back. Keeping those tanks alive for so long worked out in his favor greatly. They have so many kills between them.
Yeah, it seems like every time Aristeo attacks, he just barely doesn't have enough stuff.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out now what he can do. Those Marines do get cleared up. He is at a pretty big supply deficit, and the creep threat's not really going to get all that far with this big contain sitting outside for QXC. Yeah,
there's a Spire on the way for Aristeo, a Hive as well. But QXC is also getting his Ghost Academy, too, so he'll be able to get Ghosts out to counter the Broodlords that Aristeo looks like he wants to probably make here.
Yeah, it looks like more barracks infrastructure getting laid down at the same time, so QXC is going to have very powerful army in a bit, and QXC only with 4 medevacts on the field right now. Really? Really? Is this QXC? Oh, yeah, well, he is dropping, so that's, it is indeed QXC.
QXC, yep. Going into that drop play that he's well known for, doing a little bit of damage there.
Yeah, backing away now. He does manage to pick off a few workers there. It looks like 3 altogether, and the Queen, which is a nice little benefit for him just for the loss of 1 Marine. We do have Greater Spire morphing in, So Broodlords will be able to hit the field in a bit. 4 Corruptors on the way.
QXC just kind of one step of his opponent all the time at this point. You know, he's got +3 weapons on the way. Aristeo only has +2 weapons on the way. Aristeo's going for Broodlords. QXC is already making Ghosts. So he's got Aristeo contained to just 3 bases as well. Everything going QXC's way right now.
Tried to drop in one more time, but Aristeo was prepared for that. That is one hellacious contain sitting outside of Aristeo's 3 bases, though. And QXC actually putting up his next command center at the same time, so we'll be on 4 bases pretty soon. Looks like he's going to drop on the left-hand side and use vision there to give these siege tanks some range as well.
Yep, this is a good idea too. You know, you might as well try to get in the main and do some damage here.
Right. Siege tank's actually splashing a few more of his own forces than anything else.
Didn't end up doing a whole lot.
No, didn't actually work all that well. And the fungal growths are actually hitting a lot of the medevacs, and those are falling pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's going to actually lose all these medevacs. And that means he's going to have to pull those tanks back too, because they can just be attacked from the high ground.
Right.
You might leave them there for a little while, yeah, just scanning to make sure that nothing's not walking into range right now. Catch some queens maybe sometimes with that.
And QXC does have a medevac overhead that he can try to continue pushing up with, but don't see any other drops. He's got a Marine patrolling around just to make sure that no hidden bases are being taken or anything like that. 4 Broodlords just finishing up now, though. So we finally have a few of those to help counter siege, I suppose. And Vikings are being added now with +1 weapons. Only 2 on the field, though. And actually, Ghosts mostly. 8 Ghosts now.
Oh, okay. Yep, he's still going to make a lot of those as well, so he should be in good shape against this. 1 Viking kind of hanging out there.
Looks like he is managing to pick away at the bunkers, though. There's Snipe. That's what we were looking for. And 2 Broodlords fall right away. Snipe is so good against Broodlords.
Yeah, the range on Snipe is pretty crazy here.
Yeah.
QXC still has Aristeo in a great spot.
Looks like no real anti-air. Finally, some more Corruptors being put up now, but running over the army. That's a big loss for him.
Yep, can always use every Corruptor in this standpoint.
Yes.
This position here. QXC has just been ahead in supply as well for quite a while. I mean, he's been ahead pretty much this entire game right from the beginning, where the 2 barracks play did a lot of damage, forced a lot of Zerglings instead of drones.
This is a new brand of QXC play. Some drops, yes, but very, very patient and measured play so far. And
yeah, he's looking pretty methodical right now.
Yeah, and it's turning out to be pretty effective. His opponent is almost maxed, but now QXC sitting on 4 bases. The big thing, though, we do have a Nidus Canal being built at the moment, and there is 1 lone Overlord sitting across the map.
Yep, seems like kind of a little bit of a desperation move from Aristeo. You know, he might be able to get some lings in there as well, but, you know, is that really going to help him with the big contain that QXC has?
Let's see here, as looks like he's dropping into that Nidus Canal now.
That's a lot of lings in there, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
That has the potential to pull his opponent out of position. Looks like the Nidus Worm is in the middle of the map, and he is just going to run into his opponent's base, I assume.
Yeah, or he could use this to set up a big flank, or he could just use it to cut off reinforcements. Catching 3 Ghosts right there. Looks like he's going to get 1. Is he going to get the other 2? Yes, he will.
All right. More units sitting there. QXC coming back with a lot of bio forces. So Aristeo's able to get out a little bit there, forces a stim out of his opponent as well, and will be able to take out this next base that's coming up. It's canceled.
Yep. But QXC's still doing okay. Still a base ahead right now.
Yeah.
So he's still not doing too bad. And you got to imagine that Aristeo's getting a little bit low on resources right now, too.
Sure. And looks like QXC is going to pick up on this next Nidus. Yes, he is. Let's see if any units can come out to defend. Nice job picking that off right away, and then going after the units so no reinforcements can pop out. And it is going to go down. So is the Roach. He needs to be able to just Nidus away, well, anything. Some sort of a drone to get another hatchery down. Units. Oh,
whoa,
look at that.
Wow, what a scan. He sees it on the sensor tower.
Wow.
He scans to see what's there, and he sees a Nidus Worm popping out, so he should be able to respond here.
All right. Zerglings and Infestors being thrown out at the moment because Aristeo, he is just losing almost all of his resources. Look at that.
Brought drones, too.
Yeah, this is where he wants to make a stand. He wants to put a new base up here or something. Yeah.
I guess so, yeah. He's going to try to re-expand to a new main.
And looks like QXC just going to react by bringing a bunch of Marines. But with the Infestors sitting on the high ground, not a bad spot there, as he will be able to fungal a ton of units.
Well, it's a creative way to kind of get around that contain.
Yeah, definitely.
It's interesting.
Oh, he's got to control those drones, though. Yeah, it's cool to get him some minerals.
Yeah.
Bring it back. All of them. Not going to be able to mine for a
send
while.
those through the Nidus again?
Yeah, let's see here.
Right,
Zergling's coming out. No, drone.
Drones, why?
Not really sure what the cause for that is, but they're being sacrificed for the cause.
Nope, they're okay. Oh, a nuke on the way for QXC as well. So, yeah, he's just going to start nuking now.
Huzzah.
Aristeo still not in a situation where he's likely going to win. Oh, there's an overseer there, though.
Yes, there is.
Nice. Snipes it.
Very nice.
And he could snipe a lot of those infestors if he just kind of watches out for Fungal a little bit.
I'll see if he can hit some EMPs. Nope, just sniping. One goes down. Looks like the second or third main fall. Misses with a Fungal. Does manage to get one.
Oh,
there he goes.
Two.
Not bad. Not bad.
Oh, EMPs. One of the infestors there, so...
Still not enough to let him run up with the rest of his army, though. So this has kind of turned into a weird game. So.
Yeah, I mean, supplies are about even, but those drones being lazy. There they go. I just can't... I don't know. I mean, this is the weirdest game. This is one of the weirdest games I've ever seen.
Yeah, QXC, you know, playing super patient, not able to drive anything home at the moment. Yeah. Looks like a couple more ghosts are going to make their way up. Maybe we'll see a nuke here in a bit. I heard another Nidus Worm. Looks like it's down at the bottom left-hand corner, so...
Yep, possibly another expansion there. I mean, QXC talking about how he likes to put his opponents in a weird position, but it looks like Aristeo is kind of putting QXC in a weird position now. This game is just not something you have to deal with a whole lot.
QXC just doesn't feel confident enough to push in against Broodlords. Aristeo doesn't have enough to, you know, remake a base right now. Oh, here comes QXC, though. Looks like he's opting to throw down a couple of snipes. Oh! But he catches, so 2 ghosts for 3 infestors there. QXC comes out a little bit of an advantage, but still a good catch by Aristeo not to lose everything.
Yep.
Green sacrificed. Let's see here. So QXC Planetary Fortress sitting out for his 5th base as well. He has some nice rings of sensor towers basically everywhere. A
second Spire going up for Aristeo. All right, so I suppose if that's intentional, which I'd imagine it probably is, he's going to go for a lot more air upgrades. But he is making Ultralisks right now too, so he's kind of going for a little bit of everything right now. QXC in the meantime going for his flyer upgrades. And nice Fungal trapping some of those Marines there, but there's a lot of DPS. The medevacs get there in time.
But very low bio units there, so quite a bit of a trade back and forth. It looks like he's going to try and go through the Planetary Fortress as well. It's very low and it falls, and QXC's going to lose a lot of his workers there. Yeah. Whoa! QXC just lost a lot of stuff. Of course, Aristeo's economy is not great, so it's not like he's exactly reproducing anything at the moment. He's got 3 Ultras and 14 Lings coming up, though.
Well, Aristeo just coming out of nowhere right now with these really brilliant moves, trying to get himself back in this game. QXC taking out some Disruptors, trying to reduce the amount of possible Broodlords, and he actually is going to kill all the Broodlords, but I don't know really how much Aristeo really cares even about this.
Yeah, this is just kind of bizarre, actually. Aristeo taking another base over at the 12 o'clock. Infested Terrans are up, and they're starting to try and pick away at a couple of Vikings, but the Broodlords are starting to get low. He's actually picking off quite a considerable number of those. Looks like we have another attack from Aristeo up here at the top. Sorry, guys, I'm anticipating this is going to be a lot to follow here in a bit, so we'll try and keep track of it all. Planetary Fortress is going to town, but more Fungals once again. QXC going to lose another Planetary Fortress.
Yeah, Aristeo is really showing us how to use Ultras and things like that in this combination. He's really doing a good job of bungling the right things, not letting the Ultras get too far ahead of everything else or get kind of like the wrong position. And now QXC is the one who's reduced on bases. He's only got 1 more down at the bottom part of the map, and that's not even mining. So QXC is almost completely out of resources right now. What's the income right now for him?
Let's see, 40.
Pretty bad.
Yep. 40 minerals minute. Not so great. Okay, and it's not being done there. It's only being done there. He does have a nuke still in the chamber somewhere. Does he have any ghosts to take advantage of that? Yeah, there's still 6 sitting around. He is going to make a big drop here in a second, but Aristeo has done a pretty good job of taking these bases. He's got a good frontline army sitting up at the front, so he doesn't have to worry about that sort of an attack. Looks like QXC may want to start pushing this home, though. Picking off a few Overlords is a nice touch.
Yep. Yeah, anything you can do to kind of get that little bit of an edge. Looks like this base is probably going to go down even with the transfuse.
Yeah, it does fall. It looks like QXC going to back up and get out of there. If he gets fungled, though, he does. But 2 of the full medevacs are able to get away, so not a ton of damage being suffered by QXC there.
Yep. It's a couple of the medevacs, but
what is this game?
I don't know. This is really bizarre. I mean, Aristeo down to just 1 mining base as well, and QXC's pretty much saturated the one in the lower right part of the middle there between some SCVs and some mules. Yeah. So the income is going to be fairly even-ish right now, but yeah, this is just so strange. More upgrades on the way for Aristeo. There's a drop from QXC.
Yeah, it he wants to re-deny this hatchery once again. Does force a cancel on him. Looks like QXC going to pick back up and get away. These units are pretty low inside. They did stim multiple times to get this done. I hear another Nidus. Looks like there it is.
That's the one from before, isn't it? Or is that a new one? That might be the new one.
Maybe. I'm not actually sure. Okay.
Oh, how's the Ultralisk fit in there?
I don't want to know, actually.
That just does not look like fun. It would not be a fun job to be a Nidus Worm. I'm just going to say it right now.
Yes.
I would not like that. It's like, all right, some drone's like, oh, yeah, I want to be a Mutalisk, man. Some larva is. It's like, no, you're going to be a Nidus Worm. Everyone else is going to crawl through you. And you're going to have, like, heads pop out of the ground, but they're, like, really weak heads, so workers can kill you. It's a bad life being a Nidus Worm, man.
For the swarm? All right. Well, he's going to make his way in with the double-sided attack
good
here.
EMPs, though.
Yeah, QXC does hit a couple of those infestors, going through a lot of the Ultralisk as well. He has a pretty good amount of forces left over. We'll see what the goes here if he can push that back. I think he knows he can't. Both players actually just don't want to go through the process of trading armies right now, as both of them would get pretty low there if that would come to pass.
What an insane game from QXC and Aristeo here. They're both still fairly even on supply. This is going to need to get... Oh, it doesn't get canceled. Can he save it in time?
I don't know. The hatchery very low, 400.
Oh, he's got a transfuse.
200.
Oh!
300. Transfused again. 110.
Oh, man. That was so close. He almost saved it.
Oh, my God.
Didn't quite get it in the end.
Okay.
Wow. All right.
Well, this is still all the tech for Aristeo, and this is all of his mining. QXC does now have 2 mining bases up. He's got the Planetary Fortress in the pocket there, one up in the pocket here, so...
Using the Nidus Worms like the old-school Nidus Canals, though. I love it.
Yeah.
So cool.
More hatcheries are going to go up now, but it looks like QXC's patrolling back and forth, so he is going to have to defend that.
I feel like on a big map, this is something I'd like to see more often. Just yet another reason to get rid of that silly sound the Niduses make when they pop out of the ground, you know? Well, you'd see a lot more play like this, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, especially because, you know, QXC, even if he hears it, can't react to it, so you can see that it's actually quite effective now. But, shh, we don't want to give Zerx another late-game option. You've seen the stats.
I don't know.
I'm not Terran biased.
No. Of course not.
No, never.
No.
No. No.
No.
All right. Well, QXC, he's got a good number of bioforces. That medevac is working overtime right now. He's sending a couple of units through to take out the Nidus Canal, but there is enough here to defend now for Aristeo. Have we even seen like a major engagement in this game yet, though? That's what feels so weird to me.
Not really. I mean, it started with Aristeo trying to make like a lot of these little pushes where he thought maybe he could just get in there and end the game, but it was kind of sloppy, and he just kind of ended up putting himself right back to where he was as soon as he got a little bit of an edge. Same thing with QXC too, you know, to a certain extent. I really feel like QXC could have pushed when he had that big contain there. He had plenty of ghosts out, but just decided to try to just play the contain game, but he forgot about the Nidus Worm, and now Aristeo is back.
That's so absurd to me. We have 6 more Broodlords coming up as well, and an extra Ultralisk.
Oh, there's the nuke.
A nuke!
Oh, and if Aristeo doesn't notice this, he's going to lose.
Because QXC is occupying his attention.
He is. Does he? Okay, he does notice, so the Spine Crawlers are going to get a bit singed. That Overseer is going to wish he was morphing somewhere else.
Boom.
Ooh.
A couple of those go down, and the hatchery takes a little bit of damage. We have another nuke coming up in a moment. Let's see here. Don't see any quite yet. Takes out one Ultralisk there, was trying to power his way through. QXC is maxed now with a huge resource advantage over his opponent, but Aristeo being resilient on very high-tech units right now. High-energy infestors as well.
I think nukes would actually be a great way for QXC to start to kind of get an edge in this game. I mean, there's a situation where he could just start to nuke at all these spaces here.
Pretty good reaction time by Aristeo. He does fungo a lot of those units, and QXC could run up a little bit more, but it looks like he's occupied here at the top. Needs some snipes in a second, and it looks like a few of those are hitting. Yeah, Ultralisk falling pretty quickly. Oh, not a lot here for Aristeo, and QXC may have succeeded in breaking through on one of the fronts.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to get this hatchery, no problem. Might decide to run up into the other one and try to kill that base as well. And if he does that, that might give him a good timing. But down at the middle of the map, looks like the Broodlords are trying to engage that bunker line.
Yeah, and it looks like he's transfusing up those Broodlords as well as he goes after the Vikings. So he's doing a nice job breaking through there, but so he may be able to break the contain. If he actually breaks the contain and kills this base in trade, it wouldn't be so bad because he has another mining base. Oh, but it looks like QXC has found that out as well.
Oh, everything's happening at once suddenly.
Wow, yeah, like everything. There are 3 separate fronts being fought right now. This base is going to go down as well. Aristeo actually just lost all of his mining. I think that may be it, but
Yeah, QXC has got a huge lead. He's kind of been in the lead all along today.
Yeah.
But it's looking a little bit overwhelming. He might still lose his pace.
Yeah.
No, he's got a lot of ghosts out yet, though.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Broodlord's just biting the dust. Okay, well, there's a few lings left. It's actually just 62 supply now for Aristeo, and he is not mining at all. So, all right. Well, Planetary Fortress is too much. GG in a ridiculous 42 minutes random game on Terminus.
No kidding, man. Well,